Hello my darlings, it's Zooey here, and today we're doing our first dive into Friday Night Funkin'. Friday Night Funkin' is a free-to-play browser-type game that you can also download, and it's a rhythm game, and it has a character in it called Dearest, and everybody is simping for him, and so I've wrote a horny story, because the title isn't lying. Honestly, this is the third time I record this intro because every time I record this intro, I tend to go ballistic. But yeah, it is more tricky than I expected to make this intro of Friday Night Funkin'. I mean, it's almost like there's a hex on this video. I mean, intro. So, let's just say this. I hope you watch this video until the end. Like or dislike and comment something down below. This way you enhance my standing in the YouTube algorithm. Lastly, if you want to support me outside of enhancing my standing in the YouTube algorithm, being an annoying fan usually always helps. So, don't be too toxic, you know, just share the videos around and annoy your friends about my existence, huh? Or post the link to this video in a Friday Night Funkin' Discord. Whatever. Just do what you think is right, okay? Anyways, let's get right into the show. It was a moment of weakness. The agitation of his daughter's news of a new boyfriend and his failure to win over him during a rap battle. The blue-haired weirdo was a chump. He didn't deserve her. Simple as that. But as he was driving home from the shady theater, he broke down, his pride not allowing him to find peace. And before he got home, he needed something to let his anger out on. This led him to pursue you. He remembered you from his past, when he was still a rock star. You were a fan of his. You had attended almost every concert of his. Back then, it had become a game to him, whether or not he could find you in the crowd, and whether or not he could make out your singing when the attendants joined the chorus. And Daddy Dearest distinctly remembered granting you something. A night with him. This was a present he only granted to the most loyal and the most attractive of fans. Of course, it was before his marriage and his daughter. But he knew you lived close by. Even after all those years, you still managed to figure out his phone number and occasionally call him. And no matter what he did or said, you remained a loyal lapdog. Someone to let all his frustrations out on. A borderline stalker. And if he played his cards right tonight, maybe a plan B. Daddy Dearest made his driver stop next to a rundown apartment building. The nightly streets were empty, save for a homeless man drinking toilet wine he had made in an alley next to the apartment's entrance. The scruffy-looking man made a rude comment, followed by a compliment for the beautiful car. But Daddy Dearest simply scoffed. The door hung loosely open, letting him in with no further incident. He slowly inhaled the dusty musk of the moldy building interior. It reminded him of the time when his band was still up and coming. In fact, he had rented a similar dingy apartment at the time. It was, in its own rustic and perverse way, cozy. His heartbeat increased steadily as he ascended cracked stone stairs covered in suspicious stains. He knew your place was on the 3rd floor. You had told him many times. and that for him, your door was always open. 3 heavy pounds on your door shook you awake. You had been snoozing on your couch. By now your TV showed public access softcore porn, so you knew it was at least 12 a.m. Haphazardly you switched to the 7th channel before turning it off. Another 3 heavy pounds echoed from your door. Clumsily you jumped up, grabbing your handgun from your purse. Living in a shitty area like yours, this made you cautious. You turned the gun's safety off, pressed your back against the wall next to the door, and then unlocked the small chain that kept it closed. And then it quickly swung open. Your heart pounded, but your mouth twitched happily as you saw the love of your life leaning against the doorframe. "Put that toy away," he growled hungrily. With a quick click, you turned the safety pin back and threw the gun on top of your shoe drawer, before jumping into Daddy Dearest's chest. "Hey, babe," you said with a smile as you began twiddling with a finger through his chest hair. "What are you doing so late?" He didn't reply. Well, not with words. He wordlessly grabbed your waist and threw you over his shoulder while stepping into your dingy apartment. You helplessly kicked the air. "What are you doing?" you jokingly protested. "Where's your bed?" he barked. "It's in the room to the left, the one on— Ah!" Your sentence was interrupted by you squeaking loudly. One of his hands had crashed down on one of your ass cheeks. It hurt and shook you to the core. He kicked open the door to your bedroom and threw you on your mattress. Your legs quivered as you watched him rip his clothes off. You had barely any time yourself to undress before he threw himself on top of you. Daddy Dearest had no passion or love for you. He was only fueled by hatred he felt for his daughter's boyfriend. You knew that, but still, you couldn't say no to him. Even as he violently pulled at your hair, even as he brutally bit down into your shoulder, drawing blood, or even as his fist crashed down onto your face over and over again. His mouth was foaming with anger as he let out his emotions on your fragile frame. The cascade of violence only lasted for 2 hours, and by the end of it, he was a heaving mess, lying next to you while you just sat there, your knees pushed up under your chin, your arms wrapped around your legs. But you were smiling. "What was this about?" you asked. He rolled on his back, staring at the ceiling. Still, he was quiet. With your right hand, you rubbed over the bite mark on your left shoulder. It stung. "You were definitely frustrated. I felt it," you said quietly. Now he rolled over to face you. His eyes moved up and down from you. A slight hint of remorse for the abuse he put on you made itself known. With one hand he reached for you, and out of reflex you pushed him away. For a moment, both of you just stared at each other, in disbelief. You wanted to apologize, but Daddy Dearest was faster. "Sorry," he said and got out of bed. "I should leave." "No!" Instantly you had jumped on all fours, ignoring the pain that enveloped your entire being. Tears were coming out of your swollen eyes, and he turned to face you. Your nose was slightly crooked and still leaking a bit of blood. Tears were coming out of your eyes, and he turned to face you. Your nose was slightly crooked and still leaking a bit of blood. Your right eye almost swollen shut, and one of your front teeth was chipped. You embraced this moment of hesitation to lunge at him, wrapping your arms around his naked hips. "Don't leave me," you cried loud enough for him to hear. He didn't react. "Tell me what happened." His sentence was interrupted by the ring of his phone. "That's her," he said, and you tightened your grip. "She can wait," you said breathlessly. Dearest blinked. "You're right." He sat down on your bed again. With one hand, he rubbed over his chin. "We should go to a hospital." You scoffed. "And let her find out? You paused and swiped away some of the blood with your hand. "Fine, see?" You rubbed your body against his like a lost puppy. And after another minute of silence, he spoke. "I have a daughter now. Beautiful girl. Comes after her mother." He sighed. You turned around and reached for your nightstand. After opening it, you took out a lighter and a pack of cigarettes. You gave him one. "Thanks." He took a deep drag after you lit it. "She's getting into that age where she's into boys. Feels like yesterday she was into unicorns and doom." You put a cigarette into your own mouth now and leaned back on your bed, one hand behind your head. "She was so innocent. And then she brought back the first boy. I dealt with him. I won in a rap battle. Haven't seen him since." You knew he wasn't telling you the full truth, but you didn't care. You flicked your cigarette's ashes to the side of your bed before taking another drag. The blue smoke burning into your lungs, filling you with a feeling of tranquility. "The new chump she's dating, however, he's made out of a different wood. He beat me." You wanted to giggle at that, but you remained calm. "I don't know what to do." "So you come to me? For what?" He hissed. "Years ago you'd said you'd do anything for me." "Clearly I still do," you interjected. "So?" You smiled. "So you used me as a stress ball." "Precisely." Your smile turned evil. "What if your wife finds out about us?" Dearest looked at you with a surprised expression. "She'll kill us both." Quietly, you finished your cigarette, and then you sat up, crawled on all fours until you were behind him. With your bruised hands, you began to gently massage his shoulders. "Then make sure she doesn't get behind it, Daddy." He groaned as you kneaded into a nub on his shoulder. "Such tension. You didn't go all out on me, didn't you?" He gently took one of your hands. "I did." Liar, you thought. But you smiled still. You took it as confirmation. He did care enough about you to not kill you. "I love you, Daddy," you whispered into his ear, but he just scoffed. "Any ideas," he asked, "about that boyfriend of yours?" You smiled. "Depends. What do you want to do with him? His eyes met yours. Kill him. You rubbed the less beaten half of your face into the back of his neck. I know a guy, you whispered. His name is Pico.